top 50 SummerSlam matches of all time coming in at 50. We've got the hardcore legend Mick Foley. We've got the Nature Boy Ric Flair. SummerSlam 2006. We've got ourselves a match here, Matt Kelly. What are you thinking here?
First off, we're old. 2006, man. This match is almost 20 years old now. But I was taken aback very first and foremost with the entrance of this match, and not so much Mick Foley's entrance, but Ric Flair's entrance. He just comes and kind of walks straight to the ring. There is none of like the pomp and circumstance. He's not showing off the robe, which is like this awesome orange and gold sort of just, very vibrant, sort of over the top Ric Flair robe. And it's like, nope, he gets in the ring, it's off, and then before he can even get turned around, Mick Foley's already laying in shots in this I Quit match. So it's just such a different vibe and feel, and you realize it literally from the get-go. There is nothing technical about this match that you would expect out of a Ric Flair match. It's just two guys beating the ever living hell out of each other the entire time.
Well, and this is just, it's so weird because it is a dream match. Like when you think of
Right.
legends, you think of Mick Foley, you think of Ric Flair, but it's such a contrast of styles
Hmm.
that it kind of just shows you like this is pretty much a hardcore match.
Yes.
And we're looking at a guy, '06, like we said, we're looking at a 41-year-old Mick Foley. Doesn't look bad shape. Like he looks like he's still in his prime.
I mean, he's moving around well,
Right.
for
And his
sure.
body's not terrible. And we've got Ric Flair at 56. Is that not fucking crazy?
That is crazy because it feels like Rick has weirdly been both as old as he is now and the same age that he is in that match, all progressively at the same time. Like it feels like Rick, to some extent, just has not changed.
No, and it's kind of cool because we're going back 20 years here.
Hmm.
We are telling a story. Mick Foley and Ric Flair did have real life beef
Yep.
from their WCW days to Ric Flair, critiquing Mick Foley's style of wrestling, a glorified stuntman. So there was a lot of beef with this. And we do get the all-time great announce team of Jerry the King Lawler and good old JR. So that was, to me, such a different vibe than I'm used to. And it is cool. It reminds me of my childhood, seeing these two legends in this match. Now, let's get to the match because this did make the
Hmm.
top 50 rank. In opinion, I mean, we'll get to the basics. This was not my cup of tea as far as these two guys.
So I think I'm glad you said it because we talk about this era so much and all of the superstars and everything that came out of it, and there's no denying that part. But it kind of goes back to us saying, like, not every match was actually as great as we made it out to be. And I don't know if it is the being removed from hardcore style matches like that for so long because we haven't seen anything kind of with that level of brutality and that much purposeful red or blood or whatever you want to call it that we got on this match. And that kind of like that drove a lot of what that match was. We saw it with the thumbtacks, the barbed wire, just different spots. Mick taking that awful bump off the apron from the ring there as well.
Did we get any Ric Flair spots? I didn't see a backdrop coming off the turnbuckle. I didn't see anything other than like crotch shots. There
Yeah, I was
was
gonna say
nothing Ric Flair.
it was literally just the low blows. There was he had the chops there for a minute when he put on Mr. Sacco with the barbed wire. So you got a couple of Ric Flair chops, but you couldn't hear them the way that you're accustomed to hearing them, bellow out through the crowd there. So that is part of it, right? It's just like it's such a departure for anything that you know to be a Ric Flair match. But I Quit matches are just a different beast unto themselves.
Right.
And this is the first one that I've watched in a hot minute, and it made me think maybe this is why there's not as many I Quit matches, throughout the year in WWE. I think it's not the best idea to be given, just putting a hot mic up to their mouth and having them
Oh
breathe
my
into the
God.
microphone. I think that's really off-putting. I think you
When
can have the ref ask them, and that's plenty fine. You don't need the mic. It's a and it throws the match off. Like it kills any sort of momentum that the match would carry just naturally on its own.
when it's just funny watching Ric Flair in general. Like this guy's bladed probably 5,000 times in his career, and we're
Yeah.
4 minutes into the match, and he's bleeding like a stuffed pig. And then, like you said, weapons galore. But Ric Flair on the match, there's a point where he's on the mic and he said, "This isn't a lay down match, or this isn't a lay on your ass match. This is a I quit match." So just talking shit. I think at one point he threatens to kill Foley and
Literally
Melina.
threatens
And
to
Melina,
kill.
like, what is that? Like, out of
I
nowhere.
I had blacked out that part in my memory. I don't know why Melina was there, but she was there. I look, man. I personally I thought the match was a little clunky, and it's kind of almost what you expect. And I don't mean this as a knock, but it's kind of like the level of physicality, brutality that you expect from like a modern day John Moxley. But it was with two guys, Rick specifically, that aren't necessarily accustomed to that avenue or that venue of match, and so it was odd.
One, it's weird too because this is SummerSlam 2006 and ECW's going during this.
Mm.
I think it mentions like Foley had some run in with ECW before, but you have an ECW hardcore match on this show with Sabu and Big Show. So you're putting that, and you're still putting Flair and Mick Foley in a fucking pretty much a hardcore match. But yeah, just to me, it just I didn't like it. I didn't think the style was there. I didn't. I mean, I get what it was, but to me, it just didn't. It just wasn't a good match.
What are you giving it on the old 1 to 10 scale,
Oh,
Maddie?
oh my God, this is gonna be sad, but maybe a 4.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was awful.
Yeah, I know. Look, we found this list via IMDb. Somebody put together this list, 50 greatest SummerSlam matches. I don't know. I haven't.
This
I don't know if I'm gonna go back and create my own top 50 SummerSlam matches, but I don't know that this one would have necessarily made the cut.
one for work watching 50 matches. This is definitely gonna be number 50 for sure.
That's probably fair.
And I do have the one thing that kind of stuck out to me is that kind of haha thing that I
Mm,
had no idea that, but the bat that Ric Flair uses, on Foley's eye, where he's saying,
mm.
"I'll kill you too, bitch," to Melina and stuff. That bat sold for 20 grand.
What in
Yeah.
the world?
What
Oh man, yeah.
the fandom.
Rick was just as unhinged. Should probably never have a live mic with that kind of deal. But yeah, yeah. This match is a forgettable one for me.
Yeah, definitely if you want to go back and watch one of the most forgettable SummerSlam matches of all time, go check this out. Mick Foley versus Ric Flair at SummerSlam 2006.